Solitude is not loneliness for the awakened, it's sacred. While the world fears silence, clings to noise, and fills every void with distraction, awakened individuals quietly retreat. They don't isolate out of fear or arrogance. They do it to protect, refine, and understand themselves. The truth is, most connections no longer resonate. Conversations feel shallow, distractions feel heavy, and the energy of crowds can drain rather than nourish. The awakened begin to recognize that their presence in the world is a precious force. They stop giving it away freely and start reserving it for growth, clarity, and alignment. In solitude, they hear their inner guidance clearly. They confront fears, integrate shadows, and discover truths that are invisible in noise. Silence becomes a laboratory for transformation, and stillness becomes a sanctuary for the soul. This is why solitude is not a punishment, it's an ascension. And while most see it as withdrawal, the awakened see it as elevation. Subscribe now to join the Guru Clan, a brotherhood of awakened souls mastering clarity, discipline, and self-mastery. 1. Because solitude reveals their true self. For the spiritually awakened, solitude is more than absence of others. It is the mirror in which the self finally appears clearly. In a world addicted to noise, attention, and validation, they step back from the crowd and stop performing for approval. The mask falls away, leaving only raw, unfiltered truth. Before awakening, most people define themselves by others' perceptions. Every action, every word, every choice is filtered through external expectations. They seek praise, fear criticism, and depend on approval to feel worthy. But the awakened recognize that living through others' eyes is a prison, and solitude is the key. Alone, without mirrors of judgment, they face what has always been hidden: their fears, desires, shadows, and potential. Silence strips away distraction. No chatter, no entertainment, no social validation, just presence with self. In this space, suppressed emotions surface. Old wounds rise to be felt, understood, and integrated. Shadow traits, anger, envy, doubt, are no longer pushed down or ignored. They are seen, confronted, and transformed. This process is uncomfortable. Many fear solitude because it forces accountability. Without external noise, the mind cannot run from itself. The awakened lean into this discomfort, knowing growth is forged in reflection and confrontation, not in distraction. The pain of truth becomes the gateway to freedom. Solitude also illuminates authentic desires. Stripped of expectation, they can distinguish what they truly want from what society tells them to want. Life's illusions, wealth, status, recognition fade in comparison to purpose, alignment, and inner peace. Through solitude, the awakened develop self-reliance. They no longer seek external validation because they understand that worth is inherent, not conferred. Their confidence is internalized, silent, and unshakable. In essence, solitude becomes sacred. It is the crucible in which the awakened encounter themselves fully. What emerges is clarity, authenticity, and the ability to live in alignment with truth, free from the distractions and expectations of the world. 2. Because most connections no longer resonate. For the spiritually awakened, the world starts to feel different, not outwardly, but energetically. Conversations, relationships, and social circles that once felt natural begin to feel heavy, shallow, or misaligned. While most people chase entertainment, gossip, and validation, the awakened notice a subtle dissonance. The frequency of the crowd no longer matches their own. Before awakening, relationships are often transactional or ego-driven. Friendship is measured in appearances, attention, or shared distractions. People bond over noise, drama, and fleeting pleasures. The awakened used to participate in these dynamics, unaware of the invisible cost, a slow erosion of their energy, clarity, and inner peace. As consciousness expands, the awakened start to feel out of place. The jokes, petty arguments, and endless chatter no longer satisfy. The energy of the group, once comfortable, now feels draining. Subtle tension arises when they sense inauthenticity, unconscious motives, or attachment-driven behaviors. While others remain oblivious, the awakened can feel it on a cellular level. Rather than force connection or compromise their alignment, they quietly withdraw. This retreat is not rejection. It is preservation. Energy is sacred, and maintaining resonance with those who vibrate at a lower frequency would dilute their clarity. Solitude becomes the medium through which they conserve strength, reflection, and peace. This process is gradual and intentional. The awakened don't cut ties out of malice. They do so out of self-respect. They allow relationships to fade naturally, recognizing that growth cannot occur in spaces of stagnation. New connections, if they emerge, are chosen with discernment, with those who share authenticity, depth, and conscious awareness. In essence, the awakened no longer measure connection by quantity, but by resonance. They understand that spiritual evolution often requires distance from what is familiar, comfortable, or draining. By stepping back quietly, they preserve their frequency, strengthen their presence, and create space for relationships that truly align with their soul. 3. Because solitude amplifies clarity and intuition. For spiritually awakened individuals, solitude is not emptiness, it is a magnifier. In the absence of external noise, distractions, and societal pressures, the mind sharpens, awareness expands, and intuition begins to speak with clarity. What was once muddled by opinion, expectation, or constant stimulation now reveals itself in precision. Before awakening, decisions are often swayed by the influence of others, friends, family, social norms, or fear of judgment. Clarity is clouded by comparison, doubt, and the need for validation. But in solitude, these distortions fall away. The awakened hear their inner voice, quiet, yet unshakable. It guides them not toward convenience, but toward truth. Stillness cultivates pattern recognition. In isolation, they notice the cycles in relationships, the recurring lessons in life, and the hidden opportunities disguised as challenges. Where the crowd sees chaos, the awakened see order. Life begins to feel orchestrated rather than random, and decisions emerge from insight rather than reaction. Solitude also enhances the body-mind connection. Subtle feelings, intuitive nudges, and energetic signals become more pronounced. The awakened learn to trust their instincts, understanding that intuition is the voice of higher consciousness. Acting on these cues replaces external advice, empty validation, or fear-driven choice. This amplification of perception allows them to navigate life with unprecedented alignment. Opportunities that once went unnoticed now appear, and obstacles become lessons rather than roadblocks. Decisions are no longer reactive. They are deliberate, conscious, and in harmony with purpose. Importantly, solitude does not equate to isolation from wisdom. The awakened still learn from experience, observation, and occasional guidance, but the foundation of every choice is internal. Their intuition is strengthened because it is practiced in silence, tested in stillness, and trusted in absence. Ultimately, solitude becomes a laboratory for consciousness. It refines clarity, amplifies perception, and strengthens the connection to higher guidance. The awakened recognize that the quieter they become, the clearer the answers, and the more aligned their life unfolds. 4. Because energy is sacred and must be protected. For spiritually awakened individuals, energy is the currency of life. Every thought, word, and interaction carries weight. Each encounter has the power to uplift, drain, or disrupt the delicate balance of their inner state. Over time, the awakened learn that preserving their energy is far more valuable than seeking approval, maintaining appearances, or attempting to please everyone. Before awakening, most people unconsciously give their energy away. They absorb stress, gossip, and emotional turbulence, believing that connection requires constant participation. They rarely realize the toll it takes on clarity, peace, and purpose. But as consciousness expands, the awakened begin to recognize the invisible cost of misaligned relationships and chaotic environments. Every draining interaction becomes a subtle theft of vitality. Negative energy, passive-aggressive behavior, and unconscious judgment pull at their focus and disrupt alignment. The awakened don't respond with anger or confrontation. They respond with discernment and detachment. They quietly step back, cutting ties with what no longer serves their growth. Sacred energy must be protected because it fuels intuition, creativity, and clarity. Without boundaries, the awakened cannot hear the subtle guidance of their inner compass, nor can they maintain the vibrational resonance required to manifest purpose-driven life experiences. They become adept at distinguishing between relationships that elevate and those that consume. This protection is not selfish. It is essential. By conserving energy, the awakened remain grounded, focused, and fully present. They create space for connection with those who resonate on a similar frequency, people who inspire, challenge, and support growth rather than drain it. Even environments are chosen with intention. Crowds, workplaces, and social settings are evaluated energetically. The awakened gravitate toward spaces that nurture, stimulate, and expand consciousness. Toxicity is no longer tolerated. It is avoided silently as a matter of self-preservation and alignment. Ultimately, protecting energy becomes an art form. It allows the awakened to operate at their highest potential, free from distraction and depletion. They understand that when energy is sacred, every boundary, every choice, and every quiet retreat is a step toward mastery. 5. Because true growth requires inner alchemy. For spiritually awakened individuals, growth is not acquired through books, lectures, or approval. It is forged in the crucible of experience. True evolution requires inner alchemy, the deliberate transformation of fear into courage, doubt into clarity, and shadow into integrated strength. Solitude becomes the laboratory where this profound work occurs. Before awakening, most people rely on external validation to measure growth. Success, relationships, and recognition act as mirrors of worth, but they rarely reflect the inner truth. The awakened soon realize that external measures are temporary, often misleading, and incapable of cultivating real power. Genuine transformation emerges only when they confront themselves directly, in silence, away from distraction and free from societal expectations. Solitude amplifies this process. Alone, the awakened face their deepest fears, suppressed emotions, and unconscious patterns without distraction. Shadow aspects, anger, jealousy, insecurity, and attachment are acknowledged, felt, and ultimately integrated rather than ignored. Each confrontation becomes a stepping stone toward mastery, as resistance transforms into understanding and chaos transforms into clarity. This alchemy is not easy. The mind resists, the ego protests, and old habits beckon. Yet the awakened learn to observe without judgment, to feel without avoidance, and to transform without force. They refine consciousness moment by moment, choice by choice, until every action, thought, and reaction aligns with their highest self. Through this inner work, solitude evolves from a mere absence of company into a sacred arena for self-mastery. The awakened cultivate resilience, wisdom, and intuition in ways impossible in the noise of crowds. They learn that growth is not about acquiring more, but about purifying what already exists within. In essence, inner alchemy transforms the awakened. They emerge from solitude stronger, wiser, and more aligned, capable of living a life rooted in authenticity, purpose, and profound clarity. Solitude is not escape. It is the forge where the spirit is tempered into its most powerful, luminous form. Spiritual awakening is a journey inward, and for the awakened, solitude is not punishment, it is power. Choosing quiet over chaos, reflection over distraction, and alignment over approval allows them to see clearly, act intentionally, and evolve beyond the illusions that consume the masses. In solitude, the awakened confront their shadows, integrate their emotions, and cultivate the clarity that crowds and noise can never provide. Every interaction, every environment, and every decision becomes intentional because they understand the sacredness of energy and the cost of compromise. They step away from what no longer resonates, not out of rejection, but out of reverence for their own growth and vibration. This path is not easy. It requires courage to face oneself, discipline to remain in silence, and patience to trust the slow, transformative process of inner alchemy. Yet the reward is immeasurable: profound wisdom, unwavering self-mastery, and a life aligned with purpose rather than the chaos of expectation. The awakened teach us an unspoken truth. Growth is quiet, clarity is cultivated in stillness, and power lies in what we preserve, not what we give away. Choosing solitude is not withdrawal from the world. It is elevation above it. Subscribe to join the Guru Clan and surround yourself with content that fuels awareness, self-mastery, and transformation. Comment below. How has solitude elevated your life? Share your insight. Your journey could awaken someone else.